Open carry is a bad idea, and it's claimed another gun owner. Today I'm going to tell you about a situation that happened out in Las Vegas recently that is going to highlight so many of the issues with open carry, and it's such an interesting position that this young gun owner found himself in, and unfortunately it ended up costing him everything in the process. I want to talk about why open carry is so bad, and I know that in some states you guys don't even have maybe an option but to open carry. And so to y'all, I also want to talk about some things that you should be absolutely doing if you are in a position where you just like to open carry or you can only open carry. There's some really important things that I think we can take from this specific situation. But hopefully this will get you thinking. Maybe conceal carry might be the better option. We're going to talk about that as well. Talk about this very kind of interesting and sad situation. Hopefully this will get you thinking more about concealed carry as opposed to open carry. There is a place for open carry, but there are some things you really need to consider before you do it. So we're going to talk about all that. I want to hear your opinion. Agree, disagree, doesn't matter. Let me know down below. Let's go ahead and jump right in. Now, unfortunately, we don't have any camera footage from inside of the AutoZone just yet, but I would love to see that because essentially what happened is David is just there in line waiting to be checked out. This guy walks in, he starts acting crazy, and David goes over to try to help him, to try to see, hey man, what do you need? Or is there anything I can do for you? And this tweaker, whoever he is, actually lunges at David, gets his firearm, and uses it on him, taking his life. Now, the tweaker in this situation actually ends up giving himself up to cops without further incident. I want to give a big thanks to RMA for sponsoring today's video. Not only do they have a product line that is very suitable for the topics we've been covering on the channel recently, but also they actually just dropped their new XRT plate lineup. And what they've done with the XRT lineup is they've bridged the gap between level 3 and level 4. But it's also a lot more wearable. You don't have to walk around like you're looking like freaking RoboCop. Level 4 has been able to offer protection from rifle rounds specifically that level 3 could never, but it comes at a higher cost, much higher cost, and weight.
Because you are a disgusting fat body, Private Pile!
I want something thin, light, and also something that works. So not only are there new plates able to stop 5.56, 308, 7.62x54R, and other calibers, but also they come in at like 5.3 pounds. They're 0.75 inches thick, which also leaves enough room if you want to add like a trauma kit or even soft pads. It's a fantastic option, and they're not introducing it at $400, $500, $600. It's coming in at $199. That's an incredible value. No matter if you're in law enforcement or civilian, they have something for everyone. Again, make sure you click the link in the description. Check out the new XRT lineup from RMA. This brings me to my very first point. Open carry doesn't make you a deterrent, it makes you a target. I've changed my mind on this. I used to think that it clearly was a deterrent, right? There's certain places that nobody in their right mind anyways, would try to rob, like a gun store or a police station, because they know there's going to be somebody there that's going to provide them with a ton of resistance. And most of these people, depending on what they're wanting to do, in this situation I have no idea what this guy wanted to do, but if they're looking to rob or whatever, they want to hurt people, they want soft targets. They don't want resistance. But there might be more power in not knowing who's actually carrying a gun, but knowing that in that state, you best believe there's a lot of people carrying a gun. Now, there are some visual deterrents, of course, that are going to work. Police presence at schools, metal detectors, things like that. But when it comes to a one-on-one basis, just because somebody sees that you have a gun does not necessarily mean they're going to back away. They may see you as the only thing standing in their way to do whatever it is they want to do. Where concealed carry gives you that element of surprise. So you could be walking anywhere at any time. People may see you as just another helpless victim, but then you are able to turn the tables. It almost creates like a safety barrier essentially for people looking to do harm, because they think, hey, I'm in control of this situation, not knowing that you are actually the concealed carrier. You are actually in control, and it may make them put their guard down. They may turn their back to you, and we've seen videos just like this where concealed carriers were able to basically play the victim, and then once that person looking to do harm made a mistake, the concealed carrier was able to take them out. Now, there are some situations where people may have a DWI, right? This happens in some states where you're barred from getting a concealed carry license or permit for a number of years once you've gotten that DWI, but you still may be able to openly carry. There's some people that just want to exercise their rights and let people know where they stand when it comes to the Second Amendment. So I'm not always saying that open carry is a bad idea, but man, it comes with a lot more responsibility and a lot more preparation, in my opinion. Just take a look around. Next time you go to work, see how many people are on their phone, just in your morning commute. Whenever you go to the grocery store or pretty much anywhere, right? Can't say most, but there's a lot of people that are just simply are not paying attention to their surroundings. And as a gun owner, this really can't be your position. To not be paying attention is fundamentally just wrong and a really bad idea. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to be super paranoid, but this may be a good lesson for a lot of us, that taking some kind of training course, maybe showing some of the things you wouldn't necessarily think about when it comes to awareness, that might actually help you to hear it from somebody else, because you gotta know what's going on around you in order to be able to protect yourself. So paying attention to what's going on around you is going to be crucial. The other crucial part about this too is the type of holster that you're actually wearing. Like the concealed carry holsters that I wear, right? Holster, love that brand, okay? They have very solid retention, but there's no additional hood or strap or anything else keeping it in place. It is the trigger guard, that's where the retention is, and it's very good retention. But if I'm openly carrying, I want to have a level 2 or 3 retention holster. That way it can't be easily taken away from me. It's going to be an additional step for you, and this is where training is going to come into play, of course, but you absolutely want to have at least a level 2, if not a level 3 retention holster. Most people are going to think, oh, you just pull it right out, when in reality, it's going to take additional steps and it's going to make you much less likely to have your own gun used against you, which I think is one of the worst feelings, I'm sure, as a gun owner. Go through the process, right, to take on the extra weight, sometimes the inconvenience of carrying a gun, just to have it used against you. None of us want to be in that situation, and David didn't either. He was trying to help this guy. Unfortunately, it just worked against him. Now, some people will talk about the public perception. I don't really care about this. To me, it doesn't matter if other people are like freaked out about it. And they talked about this in a news article, you know, oh, Las Vegas is so close to California, and California is one of the very few states that doesn't allow any kind of open carry. I don't care how they feel at the sight of a gun, right? Down here in the South, it's very common. Other places, I understand it's not as common, but somebody's feelings and my safety, I make no correlation. I could honestly care less how they feel about it. But your tactical advantage sits way better with concealed carry. Now, this is why we need to be pushing for constitutional carry. Carry that does not require that of a permit, because there are people that don't want to go through this process because they don't want to give any additional information away to their state government, and I totally get that. Constitutional carry without a permit, I think we're at 31 states now where constitutional carry is in place, and we need to push it to all 50. Because your right to carry a gun from state to state should never be restricted. Your choice to openly or concealed carry should never be restricted. There are some situations where open carry is good. There's some situations where you can carry outside the waistband and have a garment over it, especially in wintertime. That may work out, and it does work out for a lot of people. But on an individual basis, when you're around a lot of people that you don't know, concealed carry, in my opinion, is always going to be the best option. But that's just my opinion. Of course, I want to hear yours. Let me know what you think down below. If you like what I do, consider subscribing. See you in the next one. And as always, hold 'em down.